K-pop, mukbang, hanbok, flashy cities, plastic surgery. I'm Korean American. I lived in Korea for 7 years when I was 7 to 14, and I realized the past few years a lot of people were interested with trends of Korea. So I wanted to make this video to show you guys what I learned while I was living in Korea for 7 years. And before I list what I've learned, I wanted to make sure that this is very subjective and it's just solely from my perspective, and it's also based on Seoul in Korea. So let's just go straight into it. The number one thing that I want to say the most is that they are so smart. Now this could be a good thing and a bad thing. The good thing is that they are smart. Like, they're very talented. My best friend, his name is Park, and he was ranked 2nd in my middle school. He was a valedictorian in his high school, and now he's in college in Seoul National University, which is the #1 university in Korea, and he's double majoring in physics and mathematics. He's a smart guy. But not just him, but mostly anyone I know are smarter than me, academically at least. And I want to emphasize again of how smart they are. I'm not saying this as a good thing, because there are also some sad stories about this, such as a few years ago I went back to Korea to study in the SAT Academy, and there's academy for everything in Korea. There's academy for gaming, math, laws, science, Korean, English, Chinese, Japanese, whatever. There's literally everything. And I went to the SAT Academy just to learn there for 1 month. And I knew it was going to be competitive because the academy that I went to was known to be very competitive, but they were very proud that the students who go into their academy usually score a really high score in the SAT, like around 1500s or higher. And I was pretty happy that, oh, this could be a good opportunity for me to boost my SAT score. And the problem wasn't the fact that eventually my score didn't go up. The problem was the fact that in the first day, which was orientation, they told us we had to study 60 to 70 hours a week purely on the English section, because that's the hardest section, to get a good score. And I was like, what? 60 to 70 hours? That is crazy. But I think they're exaggerating. And yes, I was wrong. I was wrong not because I had to study 60 or 70 hours a week, but because it only takes 60 to 70 hours a week for smart people. But for me, who is very normal, it took me 100 hours a week or even more to even catch up with the people in the academy. I had to study 15 to 16 hours a day, and I was just so tired. And this is when I learned a lot of people in Korea are just so smart, because it's kind of embarrassing, but I was the only one in the entire class that was failing. Every week, they post our SAT scores to show our progress, and everyone's graph were like, oh, week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. Well, mine was week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. And that kind of goes into the second thing that I've learned, which is they're very competitive. And they're very competitive in the sense that they want to be #1. And this often leads to toxic culture, such as parents bribing teachers or academy instructors to give their children answers for the exams so their kids can go to better universities. Or the fact that there is high societal expectations. And a lot of people in Korea, at least what I felt, compare themselves to each other to see who's better. And this can be a good thing and a bad thing, but for me, I was very stressed out because I studied so hard every day. I slept 4 hours a day, but all I can do is compare myself with my friends, and they're going great and I'm failing. But as much as they are very serious with studying, they are very serious with anything they're doing, such as they're serious when they work, they're serious when they party, they're serious when they eat. Like, it's almost surprising that the same people in my class who study very hard at night goes out there and just party, and they look like two different people. The other thing that I learned from Korea is that hierarchy is very important in that country. And hierarchy can be something by age, grade level in school, or your occupation. For example, if you're 15 or 16-year-old in high school and you're waiting in line in the cafeteria, a 17-year-old can just come to the front and cut the line and just get the food. And no one can do anything about it because he's 17 and we're 15 or 16. Or even seniors in college, they can say, hey, come over here, lay down on the ground, to a freshman, and they have to do it. And I'm not really a big fan of this culture. Of course, I know that hierarchy is very important, especially in military or in occupation-wise, but in high school or college, this is just toxic. Plus, even with these cultures, Korea has really big companies such as Samsung, LG, Kia, Hyundai, and many more. So from my perspective, I do feel like there is a lot of toxic culture and stress in Korea, but that didn't go to nothing, and that built Korea as they are right now. Another thing that I found great about Korea is that it's mostly safe. In America, at night, I'm pretty scared walking alone, but in Korea, it's mostly okay to walk alone or with your friend at night. And even in a cafe, if you leave your bag in a chair and leave, you can come back in like 20 or 30 minutes and it's still gonna be there. There's not really serious theft in Korea, so I didn't have to worry a lot about that. Also, another thing that I want to emphasize is that Korea is small. This country is really small. And not only are they small, but majority of the people live in Seoul. So Seoul is just so crowded, the space is so small, the apartments are small unless you're rich, and the parking space is so small. Everything is very narrow and there are limited spaces. So when you're driving in Korea, you have to be a good driver. You need to be really good at parking, you need to be really good at looking around, make sure you're driving safe. But even in this small country, I think there are a lot of good cultures, such as food. The foods are really good. There's so many different types of food that you can try in Korea that even though you don't like specific types of food, there are a lot more others that you can try. And they're also so serious with eating that they created this thing called mukbang, which it's basically people eating and streaming them eating. I don't really understand mukbang, but hey, I mean, if people like it, I guess they like it. So overall, Korea is very interesting in the sense that in this small country, there are vibrant cultures, so much food to try, K-pop, dance, party, but at the same time, a lot of people are stressed with work, with academics. We have high suicidal rates. We are one of the countries with the lowest birth rate. There's a lot of bribery, a lot of corruption, but at the same time, there are innovations with technology, with AI and robotics, and more companies are growing. So there are distinctive pros and cons in Korea that I learned. In conclusion, when I get a question from people asking, would you rather live in the United States or Korea? 9 out of 10, I usually say United States. And this is solely from my perspective and my opinion. I personally like the fact that America is big. The parking space is big. The apartment is bigger than Korea. The houses are bigger. The land is big. There's just so much personal space you can have. And also academic-wise, unless you're in the top university, it's not really that competitive. You can enjoy your personal life. You can have hobbies. And you can still study and get good grades in college. And also, even though you don't get into top universities in the US, such as Harvard or other Ivy schools, that doesn't limit your ability to get a job. There are so many job opportunities you can have. Unless your area is related to law, medical stuff, or anything science related, college has less impact in that sense. But 1 out of 10, I do say I want to go back to Korea because the foods are really good. There's so many different foods I want to try again. I do like my friends and my family. I meet really smart people and I want to surround myself with really smart people as well. And it's just fun to be in Korea if you're visiting there. So that's about it. These are the things that I learned from Korea, and it's been a while since I was in Korea, and I'm planning to visit Korea at the end of 2024 or even early 2025. And if I do, I'll create another video about it. So thank you for listening, and if you have any questions, please feel free to comment in the video. I hope I see you guys again. Bye bye.